Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? This is the McAllister's Podcast. I'm your host, always, Coleman McAllister. Stupid host, Coleman McAllister. We're not hitting the record button like a fucking idiot. We're here, episode 203, with new coming guests, filmmakers Bauston Van Sickle and Wayne D. Barrett. How the fuck are you guys doing today? Again,
doing great, man. Again, it's great to see you.
Yeah, man, it's good to meet you too. Yeah.
Wait, this is the first time I've seen you ever.
Oh my gosh. This is the first time I'm saying, hey, man, it's good to see you again. There we go. And take 13, here we go.
Yeah.
It's a weekend. You guys are disturbing me with my weekend.
Yeah, our bad. Yeah.
You motherfuckers.
It's like, look, man, I'm only here on like about an hour and 20 of sleep. So like, I'm more than willing to just come in and crash and just come and chill and see how you doing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we were talking before we realized that we had misstarted that. One of the trying things that, all Iowa filmmakers experience is like the time on the road, and talking about your film that I got a chance to see today. That film deals with a lot of like on the road travel. So I can imagine you guys understand the aspect of like I think every Iowa filmmaker, they have their podcasts and they have their shit that they are prepared for hitting the road. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, when we were making the movie. It was, so Ankeny to Newton, so it was about 45 minutes, right?
About 45 to 50.
But that was there back every day, and my car at the time was on like its last leg. Like we drove, so we go there back and forth every day, like almost every day, like most days of the week, and then we'd be there for like 14 hours or whatever, and then like drive back that night. So we always leave at like 8 a.m. get back at like 5 a.m. the next day type of thing, and it was just like. All that back and forth. By the time we were done shooting the movie, my car was like toward the end on the interstate was like rattling, and I was so nervous. I was like, I have thousands of dollars worth of our equipment in my car because I had the bigger car to carry all the shit. So I was like, if this thing just busts down going 75 miles per hour, we're all fucked. Like we're like halfway through shooting. I was terrified.
I just remember one of the days we were actually driving together. I was like, okay, I won't pack up the Mustang at all, and we won't just like go down there. I was just driving with you, and I heard the shake. I was like. So this is what independent filmmaking is like.
Right. You can see the steering wheel. Dude, when we finished the movie, I finally got an oil change. And at Walmart, the guy, it's been like 20 minutes. And he goes, we need to see Wayne Barrett up to the our whatever station. And I show up and I'm thinking, it's done already. And the mechanic is out there. And he's like, hey, did you just buy this car? And I go, no. And he's like, how long have you had it? I was like 3 years. And he goes, you were like... 13,000 miles. No, it was more than that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like 20. It was. I swear to God, it was like 20,000 miles over an oil change.
Fuck.
Yeah, and he literally goes, I've never seen this before in all my like 30 years of doing this. I've never seen it this bad. He goes, we opened it up, and he's like, it smelled so awful. And he's like, it was just a bunch of crud.
It was just pure black. He's just you offended me with how much you fucked this car.
And he's looking at me, right, dude. He's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, does that mean they're not going to fix it?
So is this the blue car?
No. This is my.
This was our personal.
Just
car.
It wasn't used in the film.
That one. No, we just used
okay.
that. Like came to set. We only used it for the days of shooting.
I see.
But like
okay.
that was a borrow from a friend.
But still, just like beating the fuck out of your car.
Right, dude. And he's like, we got it done. Like, we're working on it. It's gonna be fine. But I just had to. It's almost like he just had to meet the guy that had the worst oil changes ever seen in his fucking life.
He just calls you back and he's like, hey, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, this right here, this should not happen. All my 23 years.
Literally, he's like, in all my 20-some years, I've never seen it this bad.
Bob, call the DMV.
Yeah.
Take this guy's license away from him.
This guy. No, but that shit was gnarly. But yeah, a lot of travel, a lot of shit.
And my car even suffered quite a bit too. Like I remember, like I was dragging all that stuff in the back of that cramped Mustang. Yeah. And it was like almost feel like it was dragged on the back end, just like.
Yeah. Dude, it was rough. Yeah, it's like you got a bunch of too many sandbags in the back of your car. Yeah. But we got it done.
Poor cars.
Try and keep the mic up to your
to
your mouth closer like that. Yeah, you guys are good. So this film, you guys it hasn't officially come out yet. Is that right?
No.
Yeah, we're still in post production. It's been kind of a long haul on that. Just kind of due to budget, and just
sure.
Then kind of just learning too is just that's something we kind of took on together.
Right. Well, plus Boston's doing like all of the editing. You know what I mean? So it's not like there's multiple people help. There's not a team.
Sure.
It's pretty much just us. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like I love having when we have to like bring back a cut of the week, and I'm like, hey, let's watch this back. And you always give great advice editing wise, and good direction in that sense, which also helps that along.
Oh yeah, it's a good like collaborate. You know, like both like he'll say something and then I'll say something. We'll form this cool new idea kind of thing. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's been a long post production, but we're nearing the end of it. Yeah, we're getting really close.
Awesome. And how long has that post production train been going?
Kind of started more about 3 months after we wrapped filming 2021, so it was around
October,
November 2021, and then I just spent most of like that year and a half on sound. And then actually when I first met you actually in DMAC at sound in sound class, I was still hauling on it. I remember listening back to that cut back then, and I was like, oh god, this is fucked up.
Right, yeah, no, a lot went into the sound.
Like who was
Yeah, no, I didn't realize you had filmed that long ago. How long was that filming process?
Well, we started in April because for the month of April we had all.
What year though?
Oh, in 2021. Yeah.
Yeah, because we spent a year in 2020 to do it pre-production because we wanted to just after the pandemic. We were like, let's take a year, really flesh out the script, not worry about casting right now. We'll get a good sense of what we need, and just spend it a lot on post-production.
Because we had like the version of the script that we thought was the main script that we were gonna shoot in 2020. Yeah, so we're gonna do open casting calls in March of 2020, which is the month that COVID really hit. So like we were like, no one's gonna come to this open casting call thing, so we'll just
not to mention filming at that time,
right?
Would have just been
so yeah. So we're like, we'll just have to eat it and just wait a year and do it the next summer, which is what we did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I commend you, putting forth a project in that time. You know, I think making a film kind of, this, like if you were to start this year, it wouldn't be near as challenging in, a lot of those aspects as it was then. So, I commend you for that.
Well, but to answer your question, so we started in April, did rehearsals at the house we were renting. So we did that for the month of April. Just had rehearsals. Like we had like A team, B team, like story wise, and I split them up.
Oh wow!
I just wanted to have the actors a good because that's what kind of feedback I've gotten from actors in the past. Like even when I was at DMAC or even after DMAC, I was always getting some good feedback from the actors, like what it is they kind of need and what kind of would help them along the process. One of them was like trying to understand the characters and why they're there and how the story is driven. So, and that's also something I learned in animation too. It was trying to come up with a character sheet of like who, what, where, when, why, and how.
And sometimes they like start with the actors that they cast them, and then they just show up on set. Like, all right, let's do it. So we wanted to have actual intimate. So we got to know each other, kind of became like a team, and really helped flesh out the characters and get everyone's chemistry going. So the time we ever filmed, the chemistry with everyone was phenomenal.
Oh, definitely,
because they became friends in that month. Yeah, so it was cool.
And it was a very tight knit crew. It was just mostly you, me, and who are we on? Had on sound. It was Garrett or Perman.
Yeah, we have like a buddy of ours doing like sound. So like it was just like it was a very kind of guerrilla almost.
And it was like just trying to build that trust between both your cast and your crew. And then if they had the good trust in us, I felt like we had a good trust in them. We were just gonna make a great project if we had that good respect with each other.
Hell yeah. So this is my question because you started. So you filmed from April to November that year, right?
So April it was only through the summer. So April through like August
15th was when we wrapped.
Okay,
yeah, so just like almost 4 months. Yeah.
So how did you manage to? I guess like how would you manage to get this many people? Because that's the thing that I found really impressive about your film is like the number of extras and the number of like characters and people that you had involved. Like I'm putting together something right now, and like that's always been a struggle for me getting people to finding people to be able to do that. So like how did you guys find that group and like also cultivate that whole thing?
Well, we literally just went on Iowa Film and a couple other places. We asked for a casting call, and we made it clear. And that's something I also learned in theater. It's like everyone gets a part, regardless of how small or big. And I'm sure everyone always wants to be involved in a project, so I always extend that opportunity. So when we had people come into the audition, we said, well, what kind of part are you kind of aiming for? What's like your second favorite? And would you be willing to even play an extra if, all the parts get filled? Because just want to give them something of an experience. And a lot of them were just willing to also just want to be involved in the project. There's excitement wanted me to have them work with them. Even if I couldn't cast one apart I needed to fill, I knew I wanted to work with that person too in some way.
Sure.
Just keep the relationship open.
So how were you reaching out though? Was like through Facebook or what?
Literally we just pretty much everyone that was in the movie, almost everyone was someone that we posted a post on Iowa Film page about the open casting call, and then like everyone, we rented a house at the time, so almost everyone in the movie was someone that came to the house and actually auditioned. Which was cool. We were surprised. We were really shocked by the turnout. We had like 30 auditions or so, like more than we needed. It was like it was crazy. We were really we were very grateful that everyone like.
I also loved how even the script would even evolve based on our casting decisions.
Yeah, because we find someone that the character was like this, and then we cast someone else, and it was like it kind of became more like them. That's what we did a lot of that in April too. Is like we're able to like work the characters a little bit so this actor fits it better, type of thing.
Or just being able to see like how that character is actually going to act. If you start thinking fourth dimensionally about, okay, we casted this actor. I was like, why did I cast this actor? And what can I see on screen if I start to visualize them doing it? Because
yeah, and then I don't even think you've gotten to this part yet, but the B story of the film, pretty much almost all the actors in that section of the film were friends of ours. That like
Okay.
yeah, like the main boyfriend of Estella's character, Jesse, it's played by our homie Jimmy Steffens. He's actually he was really good. That was his first acting role. He did a great job. He even had he was committed. Like he had a barber plan, so he went there every weekend and made sure the guy shaved the head looked exactly the same way it did every single time. And
wow.
he was totally professional and dedicated,
Oh, yeah.
which I totally dug.
Oh yeah.
I respected that more often, and we kind of just needed that. It was like he gave us that full support, and we kind of gave him full.
Right, as someone who wasn't an actor, he just kind of dove right in, you know.
Yeah. So I know you, me, Boston, you and I, we met in school, but or in class, but like, did you guys have any prior filming experience up to this? Like, because it sounds like you guys had a pretty good, like, having the haircuts multiple days. You guys at least had a pretty good understanding of film going into this.
Well, really, because we met in video production back in 2017, right when we started going to college.
All the way back then.
Yeah. So we've been friends since then. We've been working on the movie since like
2019 of October.
Kind of So we go way back in that sense. He's one of the first friends I made when I moved to Ankeny.
Okay,
and
nice.
he what were we even talking about?
Well, like we met back in 2017 over at DMAC. I was still run by Steve Schott, and we were only going for the diploma back then because they didn't have a degree.
Yeah, it was evolving while we were in the courses. The whole thing.
And I was
okay. So you came back.
I came back after they gave me a degree. That's what I was waiting
see.
for. They were supposed to also be building that sound department or a new building for the sound studio, which would have been awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think okay. So I'm actually interviewing Miguel next week, and I think he mentioned that they actually have done it pretty good. I don't know if it's the building, but when you were still there, they had the recording studio. I think that thing has been fleshed out pretty well.
I love what Jason West did to that.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, I was even surprised we even got that far with it.
Oh yeah, shout out Jason West. I like that guy.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. That whole program, I think for something especially in Iowa, I think it's a really good opportunity for anyone that like just wants to kind of dip their foot in the industry and all that. It's a good thing to do.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, so Bozzy, really most of the stuff that we shot together was just stuff we shot like in class, and then we did some weddings outside of for like a little bit with a group of friends we had at the time. But besides, this is our first real I'd say
we did a couple short films. We did this film was actually based off a proof of concept we did for a 48 film.
Oh, yeah. The 48-hour film festival thing was like a dark comedy. So it was like a dark comedy about these cannibals that so it's cannibals that kidnap a girl, and pretty much the scene of like her in the shed the scene when you first meet her character, the short film's pretty much that, just like a dark comedy version, and then it kind of ends obviously much shorter. But so we took that and we're like, why don't we just make that into the full thing? So that's when we had the idea for this actual movie. Originally, I was writing the script and we were trying to write it as a dark comedy. And as I was writing it, just the jokes just weren't working. It just wasn't. The comedy part couldn't get it to work. And then so Bozzy read what I had about maybe 20 pages or so. And while I was trying to work on that, he was writing a different version that was just straight dark without the comedy part of it. And so pretty much he wrote everything that happened in my script that I had written so far. It was exactly what happened in his, same beats and everything, but it was just took out the comedy part and wrote it a little more distinctive. And so I remember he was like, I don't want to be rude or offend you or anything, but I was kind of writing my own version. And so I was like, would you want to read it? And I was like, yes. So I sat down and read it, and I was like, I finished it, and the way he writes is like a novel. The scripts are you read it and it really feels like you're reading like a novel. It doesn't feel like you're writing a script. It's everything's fleshed out and the writing is beautiful. And I'm reading it and I was just like, damn, dude, you got to finish this script. This is so much better than my shit. It's so much better. It was. So from then on, it just became more of a dark thing instead of a dark comedy thing.
Well, it's we knew the structure of what we wanted the film.
Right. We had the outline already.
But after I think it was right after we saw Joker of that month. It was when I was it was because we watched that film and I was like, I really have always wanted to do something more of a dramatic character study.
Right.
Hey, it's right behind you too.
Yeah. I saw the poster.
Oh yeah, exactly. that movie. I don't understand the mixed reviews I hear nowadays about that movie.
Oh, it's.
I think it's all it's all political. I don't know. Like, yeah,
I think it was for that movie. Okay, like I won't say that about every
loved
movie,
it when
but
it
for
came
this
out.
movie in particular, it was 100% political. Like, the mix, you watch that movie and you're like, this is a fucking fantastic movie.
Right.
Like, how
Fuck
can
you
anybody
for-
have a
yeah.
problem with this?
Right,
Except that person. you
Anybody
know?
who brings politics into art is just like looking for an argument they can't win. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
that's just a
Yeah.
never-ending thing. Yeah, but it was like everyone fucking loved it. We'll get off that, but
I mean, I also
everyone loved
I didn't
it.
really like when people compare that movie to Taxi Driver and like King of Comedy. I got it, but I was also
I get what
like,
you're saying, but
I can understand it thematically and
Right.
stylistically.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand.
I can
that,
see
but-
seeing this inspiration. But I'm
Yeah.
saying like it's its own thing. But yeah, no, I get you.
but that's also kind of what art is. You find people that inspire you, and that's just going to leak into your work regardless.
Well, true. Yeah, 100%.
Even if you don't even mean it or not.
Fair. But it's like not like the whole film is like trying to be Taxi Driver. Yeah, it's like its own totally different thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's its own in a sense as
Right.
well. I mean, it is really its own. Like it. I don't know. Like people kind of have this debate all the time, like whether going along in a film franchise, like straight to the point, like with how the comic books go versus like going off and doing your own thing, like which one's better. And like I've always been more of a fan of the idea of like taking a source material and like making it your own. I think that's like I think more that should be encouraged. Like that's part of why I don't really vibe with either the Marvel or the DC franchises for the most part, because like they just it's like I have arguments with like this all the time with people. It's like it's a fucking copy cutter, like a carbon copy of another carbon copy. Like that's all.
Well,
it
it becomes just like one long commercial for the next one. Yeah.
exactly.
Like people literally go to these movies just for the end credits scene, so they know like what's gonna happen next. Like no one who even gives a shit at this point, about the specific movies. I don't know. I don't want Disney coming for my neck, but I'm just saying like.
That's how I felt. I mean, after you watched Endgame, like I honestly didn't really want to see anything else. After
Right,
that
I
for,
was
like, the
so
next few years.
satisfied with that. I was like, dude, yes, this can be the end. I love it. It makes me feel whole inside. But also, I grew up on those characters. Now they're trying to make more characters for next generation of kids and all this stuff. But I'm like, but that was. It just feels like couldn't just stop right there and restart again instead of like taking all that and going off it to the next shit. Just stop right there and just completely
Wait a
start
minute and
again.
develop something.
Right.
Think about it a little bit.
Right, dude. Because now it was like we have to drop a movie every year. That type of thing where they have to. It's like I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a pure money game.
Right.
It's a pure money game. Do you guys think that train's ever going to stop, or do you think it's
Nah.
going to be forever?
I don't think it's going to stop. I think
It's
they're going to find a
gonna-
way to evolve it in the way it's already being
Yeah.
burnt out creatively. Because you watch the new stuff that's coming out, and it feels so like we were talking about before, copy cutter, but it's way more obvious now. It's like you're seeing right through it. And I don't really know if I would really blame the studio as much as I would just like, I feel like they're overworking themselves for like what reason?
Right. Yeah.
China.
Yeah. China.
That's the reason.
No, I don't know. I just.
As South Park would say.
Oh,
Come on,
gosh.
come on, we gotta go get you. I'm not gonna do that right now.
But no, I don't know. It's like, but I think they're starting to like make less and less money. I think the only way they'll stop is if it's this dead horse stops spitting out money. So once they're not making money anymore. Like I said, I think Boz is right. Where it's not going to stop. It's just going to evolve. So I mean, we'll see what happens. I know James Gunn's doing the DC stuff now. See if he does something different with it. I don't know. Like they might have to become that thing where eventually someone else just has to take the reins and do something different or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
I saw an article from the guy who played Carmy and the Bear. What's his name?
Oh, what is his name? Phenomenal.
Played
actor.
Lip Gallagher in Shameless. That actor? I don't know his name.
He's like
is that
huge
the main
right now.
character?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know the actor.
And he's gonna be in the new Iron Claw movie with Zac Efron that looks so
Dude,
fucking
honestly,
good, dude.
yeah.
That H1, you heard about that one? The H24. It's about the
These two wrestler brothers. In
well,
the
it's like
70s,
five of them.
basically.
They were
Oh,
there.
five.
They were like in like the young Ric Flair days of like the pro wrestling, and it looks so fucking good. Like, dude, Zac Efron is yoked, man. He's got that like bubble gut, huge. Like it's like, dude, it's disturbing. And like it's about like these like brothers. Apparently, they all had a bunch of like mental stuff going on. It's supposed to be a very tragic story. I don't know, but it's an A24 film. It's gonna be so fucking good. It's called the Iron Claw. Check it out.
Iron Claw.
It comes out December or something, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But like,
Christmas time.
Yeah, Oscar to contender season. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's right at the end when you can be considered for an Oscar.
it was like one of the first trailers I saw for a movie in a while. I was like, okay, someone's actually dipping
Right.
back into a little bit of style,
Yeah, definitely.
or just something a little bit more personal.
We're actually
But,
here
like,
to promote the Iron Claw. Huge shout out. Yeah.
Get your mullet
the
ready
fuck
and
out.
go out there.
Get the
It's
fuck out of
time
the
to get
studio.
Get your
some
headband on, you
wrestling
neon brother.
Stone Cold ain't got time for no.
This is pre Stone Cold, buddy. This is fucking
I don't know
Nature Boy
wrestling.
shit. All right. I digress.
I don't know wrestling either, so
I'm not huge. I grew up with my brother. He watches it as like an art form. He watches the Japanese shit, the WWE.
Oh, wow.
He watches them all. He loves it. My little niece, my perfect little niece, Yael. She's like 2. She just turned 2 November 5th. Shout out Yael. But she so that she'll sit there and watch wrestling with him. She loves it. It's crazy. He does like wrestling moves on like choke slams her on the couch and stuff. It's fucking, but she's a tough one, man. Like it's hilarious. But no, they love it. He, like I said, he literally watches. He has at home still. My parents' house still has a closet full of DVDs of like wrestling. It's like it's wild. He's into it. Anyway.
damn. Yeah, I do. We've had people come through the podcast too that like they are really dedicated to like whether it's WWE or whatever niche fucking
Right. Those
thing about it is
people
wild.
that like know everything, back in 1976, this guy did that. I'm like, dude, I don't know enough about anything at
Calm
all.
down.
Yeah, I don't know that much about anything to ever sit there and have.
It's like I'm excited that you're excited, but it's just
right.
going
But I
right
have
over
no
my head.
fucking clue what you're talking about.
Give me a condensed.
I'm more
version.
interested in how much you know and how much you're giving me.
Also,
that I can't interpret.
these numbers mean nothing to me. Yeah.
One time I met a guy at a bar and I went to his house and he had an actual Bob Dylan shrine. Like
a shrine.
Yeah, I mean it was
Candles and
pretty.
shit, or-
Well, it had magazine covers, it had vinyls, it had like all these little knickknacks that were like, yeah, this is his thing or whatever, and like he was so proud of this.
Dude, I jammed to night moves as much as anybody else, but that's a gnarly thing to have.
It's wild. Yeah, I can't imagine like. I was thinking about this the other day. I can't imagine like giving that much material into like look. I mean, I'm not even shitting anyone. Just for me personally, like the person who has like 20,000 like merch items are like, oh, I have this whole collection. Like I can't like in my mind justify spending that much on it.
Exactly. That's
I'm like, have a couple.
Yeah.
A couple is like,
Right.
okay, I can grapple with that.
And that shit's not cheap, that merch. So it's like, that's like thousands of dollars.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? There's a really good chance that it could like devalue. Like
Right.
it has like a certain potential. Then eventually everybody's just like, well, we don't give a fuck anymore. Yeah, all
Right,
your
dude.
Pokemon cards are worth less
gives
than
a
a
shit?
cent a pop now. 'Cause
Right.
Nobody gives a fuck.
And like Beanie Babies, dude.
Yeah.
That was like that shit was nuts. I mean, I didn't know. I was like, what was it, 99? It was in the 90s, so whatever.
It was like
but-
early 2000s.
was it? All right, but it's not like I remember any of this shit, but I just know that was a crazy thing, and now they're like worthless pretty much.
They were always worthless, man.
I know. But
That's
people,
what they didn't tell
but
you.
they were going.
That's why your mom has it in a bag. It just sits there in the closet.
They never meant shit.
Mom, I'm telling you this so you know you gotta just throw that shit out.
Oh god, dude.
It's okay. It has no value. No, none of the kids are gonna want it. Move on. It was an era of we just gotta move on from that era.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh,
Jesus.
I'm gonna send this clip to your mom. I'm
Yeah.
gonna find out who your mom is. That's funny as fuck. Yeah, my grandma was a hoarder.
Oh, yeah.
And they like spent a good couple years fucking cleaning out like 30 years worth of National Geographic, like old like bottles of alcohol, but like not even like an alcoholic, just like half empty bottles. Like they not even like that they were big drinkers. They just
Right.
like collected so much of it.
Yeah,
And they just
right.
fucking built up dust,
That's other stuff that you
crazy
do in a
shit.
frat house. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
This is from fucking Friday night, dude. Yeah, this many beers. Check it out. It's like a pyramid or some shit. But
Yeah.
like all that, I don't know, man.
I just remember as a kid, like I thinking it was so cool. And then you grow
Right.
up, you're like, oh no, this is mental illness.
Yeah, dude. When you're
You're like,
kids,
no,
like,
this is
that's
just
what-
garbage sitting around my home. Oh, wow.
Like that's what adults do. That's sick, dude. And then all of a sudden, oh no, you just have a problem. Got it. This is literally mental illness. Yeah,
Exactly. Well, I mean, we just cleaned out my my grandfather's house because like he just moved into a retirement home. We used to
Oh,
live
okay.
after his wife died, and we just find all these things that are inside the house that like are not even open, like stuff like old. They found an old '80s like cell phone and like an old beatbox.
Yeah. My uncle Jim passed not that long ago. They went to my dad's uncle Jim. Is that still mine? I don't know what that means to me.
I don't know why you're asking me this.
I don't know. Anyway, look, great uncle. I don't know.
Great uncle.
Yeah, but but he was a hoarder, and so the house was like so messed up. Like it's like it'd been raining on. Like no one ever came and fixed anything. So like roof sunken in and stuff. The floor's all like ready to fall through. But he had like brand new shit, like vacuum cleaners, all this RAM stuff still in the box, never opened. Like, it was gnarly. Yeah, I remember my grandpa, like, his foot fell through the floorboards while he was trying to, because it was all rotted out and shit while they were trying to get stuff. Like, it was wild, yeah. But.
Well, you gotta, and then you think about it for a little bit, you're like, wow, you buy all this stuff, you didn't even open it, and then you're thinking about the kind of state they were probably in.
Right.
And then you kind of take a look at the house a little differently. You're like, wow. But
it gets dark real fast.
I mean, a little bit. And it's just kind of the way life kind of is, and you don't really realize that. That's something actually we also, like, encountered on the movie, was, like, how much being burnout can really affect not only mental health, but just like your creative.
Right, and like I remember you were having really bad back problems because he's like, because when we started originally, we had like a vest thing that was going to kind of like a steady like a rig or whatever that was going to. And then the first day before we were setting up for the first shot, we were going to use it for, and it busted. A piece busted off. We never found.
We cranked the lever wrong, and then,
Oh no!
So he had to just hold it the rest.
Snapped the pulley. I was like, ah!
And we shot the whole thing on one camera, and he was the only cameraman. So it's like every shoot, every angle we got was all, we didn't have a bunch of fancy equipment to use, so it was just like holding it, and his back would be so fucked by the end of like the days.
Like, you ever did those sit and reach tests in PE? I always really hated having to get anxiety of having to sit up there, and like I knew like I was never gonna be able to like touch it, and everyone else was like, "Oh yeah, I got a 10 because I can stretch like this," and then I had to go up there and be like, everyone's watching you as you go. You're like, "Oh wow, what a fucking loser!"
See, I've always had the good reach, but I couldn't do it because I was fat. You know what I mean? So I
that
could
just represents his self-esteem.
Yeah, in front of everybody.
Exactly.
You know what I always wanted to see? I always wanted to see the kid that like actually fucked up his leg going too far. He's like, oh no, coach!
Oh god, it's happening! Teacher! This is not a drill.
I need to go to the hospital.
All the teachers are like, "This is what we trained for, guys. Get ready." They said it would never happen. They said it never would.
But yeah, look where we are.
Okay, that didn't happen right when I was a kid. But this is kind of unrelated, but kind of still the PE thing. There was this kid in my class. We did. You remember the soldiers where you had to like walk for like warm ups and you had to kick?
Yeah.
So he would always have his head way down and would never extend his leg all the way. This dude took himself out, couldn't knee himself straight in the temple, like not temple, straight in the fucking skull, like wham. He went down like a sack of potatoes, dude. Oh my god, it was so fun. I actually saw him a few months ago.
He's still a dent in his head?
No, he's okay. He's actually doing pretty good, but like surprisingly. But I had to bring that up to him. He's like, dude, I forgot about this. Dude, I remember it like it was yesterday. We were like in 7th grade. I still never forgotten that.
He did that in 7th grade.
Yeah, dude. PE, like 7th or 8th grade, just wham, rocked his shit, dude. Like, it was so funny. It was so funny.
Oh yeah, PE's some wild shit, man. I remember we did the rock climbing shit. That always freaked me the fuck out. I was like, you can't make me. And then like, we actually can't make you.
You got a fear of heights.
You want to not graduate because of PE?
My grandpa's house, my grandpa's old house, the poster is actually right outside James Dean poster on the other side. It was hanging like up high on his ceiling, and like so he had this like loft. And then like if you looked over like the railing, it was like the dining room, the kitchen, and all that. And then on the wall, like opposite where there's like no actual floor, there was a poster. And like I'm terrified of heights. And there's a little tiny ledge, you know, that you could like crawl on and like get it right, but like I'm not fucking do it. So like I had my friend come over and do it for me. My grandpa's giving me a bunch of shit. He's like, well, you know, someday maybe you'll get over that fear. And people, I'm like, I'm not getting over that fear, man. That's
not a chance.
Like I like didn't work for MediaCom because I was like, nope, I can't. I can't go on a ladder, man.
I can't get a job because of this fear. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, even those like jobs that they supposedly pay $100,000, you got to go up those freaking cell towers
all the way
just change
up,
one
like...
light bulb. I'm like, I would love to see that. That'd be the new like.
Because I'd say, do I do that shit? Tell them halfway up, like, oh shit, oh. Like it doesn't even look like they have harnesses on or anything. They're just like
they got a little bit of a safety harness. I mean,
are you talking about the ones that are like way up? Yeah, I've seen those videos.
TikTok, yeah,
those are insane.
Right,
but I'm also like, how hard can it be? And then I probably get up halfway, and I'm like, oh, that's not that bad.
You just can't
buy a streak of wind. I'm like,
right, dude. God. Well, this is it. Start writing your will out loud. Like, I'll leave this to my mom. I guess this goes to my.
Yeah, there's this quote from like a guy who like detonated bombs. And he was just like, I don't really have that much worry with my job because if I fuck up my job, I'm dead. So,
my problems are solved. Yeah.
So I just do it, man. I just
Either I'm good or I'm good. Yeah, no.
Which is some context, that's kind of a selfish, shitty thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, I definitely get that
You're
too.
like
yeah,
in a building with like 10,000 people. You're like, well, fuck it. Well, hungover. Shit. Which wire? Which wire goes to which color again?
I don't have to hear anybody of these people talk shit, so I guess it'll be fine. Either I save their ass or
yeah, like the Hunter S. Thompson of Bomb Squad. Just fuck it. We're just doing it.
Balls, yeah, doing it.
Do you guys have any director favorites that you aspire to, that you look up to?
I mean, there's definitely like Tarantino. I love.
Oh,
love
fuck
him. Yeah, dude. Bozzy, what was it?
I mean, I've always like been a big Scorsese fan.
I mean, of course,
Tomatoes.
the greats, Well,
but then I started to get more into some of these indie films we watch, and I don't know who's directing it, but it's films that kind of inspire me. It's like tiny things in there.
I'll say, especially based off the last season of Barry with Bill Hader. Did you ever see that show?
I haven't. I don't feel like I could take him seriously.
Dude, that's the point,
bro.
though.
Yeah, we're
And
actually here to promote Barry. Yeah, so it stars
switching it up.
Bill Hader, because he goes from like this, like dark comedy, kind of like not dumb,
Quirky, like dumb guy humor.
Then throughout 4 seasons, it gets fucking dark and keeps going, but it still has that dark comedy in there.
Sure.
And then, but they did a clean 4 seasons, each episode not longer than a half an hour. Super, like it's like such a bingeable show. But dude, but he directed it, like, every episode of the last season, if I'm not mistaken. And just
what platform
phenomenal.
is that on?
Oh, that's on HBO.
Yeah.
Okay.
Max, yeah. So good, dude. So
Totally
good.
recommend that show.
I watched the first 3 seasons of it before he ever watched any of it. And then he wanted to keep up with season 4 with me. So like in like what, a week and a half, he watched like all of the episodes, and then it was like right next to
they
where
just
I
go
was.
so quickly, and like the story just keeps you engaged because they're not like there's no filler. There's
Yeah,
no
it's like
missing
Breaking
anything.
Bad-esque, where the ending goes right into the next episode and everything. Like it's crazy.
Nice. Breaking Bad was a good show.
Yeah.
That was an amazing show.
But so I'll probably have to say Bill Hader's newly made the list because of what he did in the last season of that show for directors. I mean, then there's obviously like Spielberg.
Wait, Bill Hader directed those?
He created the whole show.
Yeah, he's like one of the creators of the show, one of the writers.
I didn't realize
He
that.
directed every episode of the last season. But
Sure, okay.
But he's like one
He
of
also
the
directed
creators
a
of the
few
show.
more episodes throughout the whole series.
Yeah, he did other ones throughout this other seasons,
Interesting.
but season 4 especially was all 8 episodes directed by him. Yeah,
But I've always found him to he could always have that range as an actor.
he's fast.
Yeah.
A lot of comedians also
one of my
have a good
favorites.
range back.
Yeah. Right, like because they're good at like the highs, and then you can like all the laughs and the funny stuff. Then you're always like shocked
Like
to
when
see
we
how.
watched 50-50, Seth Rogen and
I was gonna talk about. Actually, I was gonna bring that up because
that's a good movie.
so that director, I know he did was that movie Warm Bodies, and he did that the night before with Seth Rogen and Anthony Mackie and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That was a good one too.
But and I like those films; they're decent. But 50-50 is still like my favorite movie of all time. That was directed by Jonathan Levine. Just because it's like a very indie film, very like nothing crazy in it, nothing like that, no overall message stuff. It's just like, guy going through cancer, and Seth Rogen's like his buddy, but he's not like stoner Seth Rogen. Like, they just smoke weed and stuff in the movie, but it's not like it's like more grounded, very, very realistic, like friend who like doesn't take things seriously and stuff. And he's like, so they're just like getting through it, And it's every time I watch it, I feel the exact same things in the exact same places every time. I cry in the same spots, I laugh in the same spots. It's just such a good intimate film, and I've seen a lot of films that might have been better in their own way, but for some reason that one's always just been like my favorite movie ever since I saw it.
Yeah. Otherwise known as the loophole around fucking your therapist.
Yeah. Dude, you got me with that one. Yeah. That part upon more watches is kind of weird. Like, what an unprofessional therapist. Like, from the jump, she's unprofessional. I guess she's young, she just started, but you are way off. And then it's like this happy thing at the end. But no, it's a great fucking movie, though.
That is a good movie.
they were just cashing in like, okay, it's 2014. Who can we get to play this like
young person?
this like female therapist who's like gonna be popping, but she's gotta like have like a good mix for our like millennial culture. Oh wait, Anna Kendrick's popping up.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. Put her in there. And she kills it, though.
She does. Anna Kendrick's always bomb.
Everybody kills it, dude. It's so fucking good. Such a good. I love the part where they're at the bar and he's trying to be like, dude, you can get chicks if you, because you've seen the movie then.
Yeah.
So at the bar where he's like, dude, I'm telling you, you can get laid if you just tell the cancer party. He's trying to tell him, and it's not landing. He's like, I get the cancer thing faster. And it's like, okay, it's just dancing with a girl. Great song. I have cancer.
Yeah,
It's like, too
yeah.
much, dude. It was too fast. I was wrong. Just so fucking funny, dude.
Yeah, the cancer doesn't help.
Yeah.
The anxiety.
Oh God. Anyway,
I think one of the movies that kind of inspired me a lot more that I actually recently watched again was The Art of Self-Defense, which was a movie you introduced me to that I never heard of.
yeah,
before.
I saw that.
Who
at the-
directed that? Do you know?
I don't remember who
I
directed
don't
it.
remember.
Who's in it?
It's
It's
Jesse
just Jesse
Eisenberg.
Eisenberg. It's got. I don't know.
He's the most notable one I know the name of.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
But
the
it's a
actress in
very
there. She
dark
was in
comedy.
like The Awkward Moment. I don't remember what her name is, but she was.
That awkward movie.
Blonde
Oh
British.
yeah, I don't know her name either,
don't
but
either.
yeah, great actress in the movie. But no, that was one that I remember I saw at the Fleur by myself because it wasn't playing like in the Cinemarks or anything near me. So I went to the Fleur and saw it. Fleur? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Fleur.
Yeah.
So I went to the movie theater. I watched it by myself like midday before I had to work, you know.
Nice.
And then I just loved it. I'd been talking about, it, but he hadn't watched it, and then finally he watched it, and I like watches it all the time.
Well, I rewatched it again, and then I realized after I was watching it, this is one of these films I think is someone as like any like beginning filmmaker should watch to kind of understand a lot of the basics of what you need to make a great story. Not just a great film, but just a great story. Something that's
Right.
going to capture the eye of your audience and just kind of like inspire them to feel something as you watch it. Because like the movie is like it's pretty straightforward, but the way they kind of crafted the story around the characters and the way they mixed in the martial arts and kind of giving a little bit of a commentary in this sense. I also just love a lot of the scenes with Jesse Eisenberg's character. I feel like
It's so good.
it was a weird
So
character he
good.
played, but
So
at the same time
weird.
he like nails it. I don't know what it is. Like it's just a Jesse.
What's
Eisenberg thing.
like brief summary? What's it?
So pretty much,
It's about a weakling guy that played by Jesse Eisenberg. He's kind of this like basic like he doesn't like want to put in conflict. He doesn't want to ever fight anybody.
They're
He's just-
confrontational, scared.
Okay.
And he gets like mugged by these like guys on bicycles,
On
motorbikes, and then eventually he decides either he's going to buy a gun or he's just too scared to go outside. And then he decides he's going to take this like martial arts class he sees while he's walking down the street. And he gets like so into it. And then it kind of deals into all
Makes
these
him more
like themes of like
confident,
toxic masculinity too.
Sure.
Right.
And also showing like, oh yeah, you got to like be a tougher man in order to like keep yourself like afloat in life. You know, it's gonna keep you like, stronger. You got to be better.
Like there's another scene where he becomes a yellow belt, so then he goes to the grocery store and buys everything he buys is yellow.
The color palette of that movie is
Yeah.
really. That's another thing.
But he
too.
buys, he's wearing yellow shirt, everything, and then because he wants to feel like that, like
It's
all the
very
time,
low
so-
budget, but at
yeah.
the same time, the way they crafted the movie around things they could just
See,
utilize in the frame.
That's what I love is you watch a film and it's a rather low budget film, but you never like it never crosses your mind the whole time you watch it because it's so well made that like it doesn't register that it's low. You don't even notice
You're
it.
like, okay, this film seems a bit like less quality than I'm used to, and like some of the bigger like movies I'm watching
Right.
nowadays. But at the same time, it's still catching my eye in the same way. Like this is a movie.
And I'm starting to
Yeah,
like
this
it
is a
more because
story.
it feels more real to me. I feel like I'm actually watching a real thing because it's not like as huge as all the like blockbuster stuff and all of those things. So it's like when you're watching a film like that, it makes you feel like it's really in the real world. You know?
And the way they committed to the actual world within creating that movie, that's what I also loved about it too. They weren't like learning about like, all right, this is just like downtown Georgia. This is like east side of Texas. Like they just like, this is what basically an outside of a little town looks like, and we're just gonna craft our little world, and you're gonna believe it.
Yeah, I love when shows even stuff like Rick and Morty and stuff where like right from the start it just goes like this is the world, you're just in it. You know, like it doesn't be like, look, here's what you gotta understand to know what's happening. It's like they just throw you into whatever world it is and they just like you just get it after like you start watching it.
Hell yeah. Do you guys think that Jesse Eisenberg, like, because he's a great actor, but he seems to play the same character. Like he's interesting in a way because like he plays the same character every time, but he does it so well that you can't even like say it's bad, right? But like, do you think that's because like this is kind of a big question, but like, do you think it's because he's just so good at that he keeps getting picked for that, or do you think he's just limited in that sense?
I mean, no, I think yes. That's what's cool about this movie is because usually he's kind of like that like snarky kind of guy. Like he's like kind of a pussy, but he's usually still like talking shit normally, isn't he?
You're like a nerd type character.
Right, this one he's just straight up scared. Yeah, like he doesn't like. But like, I think that he definitely has more range. I think that he probably is one of those things where you're good at it. You know, like that's what they want to pay you big bucks for. You know, just make the people happy. But I think if he stepped out of his comfort zone a little more, I think we'd all be surprised.
I've always just kind of looked at him as more as like one of those actors who plays like a very relatable character. You know, like nobody is always
He's supposed to be like
that
this-
big tough guy on the
Right.
street, like a lot of these like action stars play, or he's not like one of these like super intuitive, always knows how to like lead the story forward, and it's always more higher plot movies. But it's like he plays a character where I'm like, okay, I can see a lot of myself in this character. You know, he's got flaws, but he's also got something where I can. It's like in Social Network, for example.
Yeah, that's a great fucking.
And the
film. I think
final
about that.
tour with him and Jason Segel.
Never saw that.
That's a good one.
That's a really
that
good
one's
one.
shot almost like documentary-esque looking. Like it's very
Okay.
it has that kind of vibe to it. That's a really very like low budget, very like personal, like I can't know how to describe it, but very like real kind of movie. Like that's a good one. It's like kind of I forget totally what the plot. I know they're going like on a book tour or something, but
It's like, and you start to realize. I think it's like you start to realize that Jason Segel's character was super depressed as like an artist, and nobody was going to want him. And Jesse Eisenberg's character was just kind of like this journalist trying to figure out who this guy was.
What movie are you talking about?
I think it's called The Final Tour.
no end of
Oh,
tour.
the
End of
oh,
Tour.
the end of tour. I didn't. When you mentioned that, I finally remember that movie. Yes, that is a very good movie.
Okay, yeah. So
it's
he's really
good
good.
shit.
That was a bit of a different character for him too. I feel like
Yeah.
that showed a little bit of range. I wish he could do more like that and bigger stuff. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
Well, it was also like tiny films like that, and also the films we grew up with was what inspired us to feel like we could actually create the movie we had, and not make it look like it was as low budget as we were gonna obviously have to do.
Right.
It's like you study films from the past and study all these other like low budget films. You kind of get an idea of like, okay, it's not about like how much you put into the frame, but it's about how you craft even some of the most simplest things.
Right. Because I feel like, personally, I feel like looking at our film doesn't look like it, it doesn't look as low budget as it really was. I feel we did a really great job of making that, really elevating the shit. But
Hell yeah. Let me ask you, like, how much time, like, how many hours a week would you say you guys spent filming? Because, I mean, it's a nearly 2.5 hour long film. I mean, it's a lot of footage.
we probably, because we went there like 5 days a week almost.
We weren't there 5 days a week. I think I remember we were there like 3 or 4 days.
3 or 4, but they were each like 14-hour days. It was like there's multiple nights where we shoot night scenes in the summer. It doesn't get dark till like 9:30, 10.
Sure.
So we
Well, some of the days I think it was more the night scenes. They felt longer just because they were like we met up. Because we spent. This is how we.
Because we've been
divided
there
our
since the
schedule.
morning. Yeah.
I wanted us to film only night scenes and only work at night on certain days, and that would usually be like one day within the week, or if we had a pickup, we had to like continue. But then most of the days we just kind of worked with either Team A or Team B, and then we figured out, okay, let's just only film by location and time of day. So that we're almost always filming at the same time, and we should be able to wrap around the same time.
Because there was multiple nights where we had like night shoots where we had to stop filming because the sun came up, so we couldn't film any more night stuff. Like
That was more towards the end of it, though.
Yeah, toward then when we were really trying to cram in to get the
Those last few days, yeah.
Yeah. Because
That's
we always got a
wild.
little behind schedule and everything, just because it was like the two of us for crew wise, like the two of us, and then a buddy of ours that would come and do the hold the boom and everything for us, like our buddies Nick and Garrett, and then at the beginning of filming we had a guy named Perman that we knew from class. But yeah, so it's like we'd have to set all the lights in to get everything all set up. So it was just long days. So
And that heat that year was really excruciating.
the barn sequences right there, the old chicken coop that she's in.
Yes.
So what's cool there is that like not cool. What sucked there? Sorry. What sucked was that it was like 100 degrees outside already. So inside there it was like 100. We had to take breaks because people we were just sweating so much and being so. It was like the stories of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was always like it was super hot. It really felt like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, legit. I mean, you know it was going to be hot in there, but at the same time, I didn't realize how much, because I have a hot blowing fan from the camera blowing in my face.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to also like direct actors and direct staging, and then it's just a lot.
Well, then there'd be like 4 characters in the barn plus Bosley and I both in there. So the small little space, there was like 6 of us in there. Like it just got real warm real fast.
And then they just sweated all the makeup off, and we were like, all right, we got to do this again.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it was rough. Yeah.
I felt bad for like for Katie Huck at one point, because like we had her and Ben at the same time. They were both like, they had prop handcuffs on, but like they were just handcuffed to a bar in the barn.
They were just sitting there.
Sitting there like in between takes. I'm like, all right, I got to loosen you guys up so you can go get some air. Go get some air.
Like they were all so awesome about it. Like dude, oh my god, they were
had the
troopers.
Most dedicated and just most professional cast I've worked with.
That's awesome.
And not only that, I feel like they inspired and they like learned from each other.
Oh yeah,
they just enjoy. I feel like they enjoyed the experience enough to where it gave them something they could also be happy with work wise.
Oh yeah,
but also it was like, wow, I got to experience like something I love to do, but in a more like personal, intimate setting.
Yeah, because they were so like professional, sense of like in between takes, because they became friends so quickly. Like they would just be joking around constantly and doing bits and like messing around. Then like the second we were like, all right, and then they would just stop. And there'd be action. They'd go right into the shit. Like they'd go from like these huge like comedy bits they were doing with each other, and then we'd just be like, all right, and we'd be like, all right, get ready, and then they would all just be like, stop, get right in their position, get right into the character and just start going. It was awesome.
It was fun to watch them work a lot.
Yeah, they really took it so seriously, and they're very dedicated actors. Yeah,
definitely.
Hell yeah. So you guys rented a house?
No. So there was a house that we lived in Ankeny that we rented that we lived there. Like that wasn't
that
for
house.
the
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were like paying to like go
we
film.
were
I'm like, Jesus
we
Christ.
were living in a house already in Ankeny. That's what
The
we
house in the movie is the one I grew up in.
Yeah, it's the actual family still house.
Okay.
So, yeah, we were able to shoot.
And what's the address? No, I'm kidding.
Directions, please. We filmed a lot of the movie in like that area, which really helped us out with location costs and everything. We filmed it all very nearby. It was like mainly all Newton, Iowa.
And that's the thing too, is that I was already got a lot of locations. I don't think people really notice as much. I know they notice them, but I just feel like I always got a lot of like untapped potential for filmmaking.
Yeah,
Sometimes I take a drive past Ankeny, and it's like there's this one day I took it like about a month ago, and all the leaves were just turning yellow, and everything along that drive was so yellow and just beautiful. And there was like golden hour. I was like, this is amazing. I wish I had my camera with me right now.
Yeah. I do kind of like hate those moments where like, well, and like I don't really have a DSLR myself. Like my girlfriend has one that I borrow sometimes, but like, yeah, there are moments where you drive around Iowa, you're like, fuck. But see, hey, these iPhones, man, these iPhones are getting better. The fuck,
they're getting better. Yeah, no,
it's
they're getting
crazy.
they're getting pretty nuts. Yeah.
There's this job that keeps trying to get me work for them. I don't know, I might. Where the gig is going to sports events and just taking pictures with your iPhone.
That's crazy.
Like that's the whole fucking like. You just have to have an iPhone and blah 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 and.
Damn, they're like we're not even gonna buy a camera for it anymore. Like, bring your iPhone. Yes, that's wild, dude. That's great. But yeah, the quality is crazy on those iPhones now.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's getting there. I don't know. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? Like when we get to the point where like everybody can make those, like whether it's through AI or iPhones or whatever. Like, what's gonna happen? Do you think film's gonna like still be relevant, or do you think it's gonna be devalued? Like, how do you?
Yeah,
I would say that like anyone with those tools at this point can make what is considered a movie. But if you don't have true like storytelling passion and ability and really have like what it means to like make and craft a piece of art that's a story, I just think that like I'm not too worried. I think it'll just turn into a bunch of like YouTube short films, unless the people don't get me wrong, there's gonna be some people with their iPhones that really do know what they're doing and are very passionate. They'll make probably a great product and more power to them. But I don't think that it's going to... So I think a lot of people will think they can make movies now. Like, it's just that easy. And then they'll realize that that's just a bunch of shit. Yeah. So I think... Yeah.
Well, it's just, I think it would really oversaturate the medium to where, like, people will be watching it and it raises that argument again. Like, what is cinema? What is going to be cinematic? And again, I think that also just comes down to the kind of story and the way you kind of craft around. Because there's a lot of rules that you have to like follow just to like in terms of like composition, lighting, story, and all that stuff. But also being able to like take that as like a guide, but then apply it to your own way in a sense that it captures not only the audience's attention, but it creates that mood of like, okay, I'm no longer, it's like reading a book at the same time.
Well, it's got to be somewhat unique at least, right? Like even if it's like along the same trend, like you got to, you got to be able to bring something to it, something original in some sense.
Well, because at a certain point, I think even now with the way cinema is right now, I think people are finally starting to notice. They've been noticing for a while, but finally being like, we want like real shit again, Yeah. And I think so. No matter really what you do, like the iPhone thing, right? That at most, I say that becomes a fad. You know what I mean? Where it's cool for a minute. It's like shaky cam, until someone comes, until someone comes through like John Wick and shows you how you're supposed to do it, and then it's like, oh, now we can't do that anymore because people are past that as a society. Yeah. Like now, if you make an action movie, like a big blockbuster film that's a bunch of shaky cam, people will fucking hate it because they've been retrained, by actual properly done shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's what I love about the potential horror. Is I feel like horror is like that's like the genre right now where people are really taking the artistic approach and really exploring things artistically.
Well, because I feel like horror went through that.
I feel like would actually. Horror is a genre that I feel like would actually really benefit a lot from iPhone.
Yeah.
Well, I also think that the horror kind of went through the same thing as well, genre wise, where it went from very actual scary things that really get into your mind, into like a bunch of found footage shit and stuff that like the Skype movies, things are easy to make and then no one cared, but they made money back anyway because it cost them like $400K to make the movie and they made like $2 million. They still made a huge profit. So it's like, I think that kind of, but then now it's like, then you get things like Hereditary and people once someone comes through and does it right, it sets a new standard. Now everyone's got, as long as that one gets the recognition that it deserves, then like everyone has to change or just be eaten up by the trend.
I will say one thing that kind of disturbs me is like the insane amount of sequels that I've been seeing, like it's particularly in the horror genre, but like I can't even tell how many of them are real anymore. You go on Facebook and you're in these groups and it's like whatever for, and it's like there's something about the poster, I'm like, is this real? Is this really real? And then you Google it, it's like, oh holy fucking shit, it is real. They are actually just using AI now.
Speaking of that though, with the stuff on Facebook, I've been seeing, you guys been seeing this too, with it says that some new thing with the MCU where Wolverine and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man are going to be leading like Secret Wars or something like that.
I did see that actually.
That's fake, right? That can't be real.
That sounds so stupid.
But I've seen Marvel that I don't really honestly care, but at the same time it's like, okay, you're honestly just you're going to bring the things that are just definitely going to bring it back. Like they're already bringing back the old cast. They already said. I saw that.
Well, and I texted an old coworker of mine, and because he's someone who follows that shit on the daily, knows everything that's going on with the universe and all this stuff. And I asked him, he's like, yeah, it's real. I don't know, dude. It just sounds like there's no way they're really gonna. I don't know. I'd be here for it. Don't get me wrong.
Well, they have enough money to do it. That's the crazy thing.
But it's just like Tobey Maguire, and I thought Hugh Jackman was done. I know he's doing Deadpool 3, but I thought I just don't think
Daniel Day-Lewis retired 5 years ago, and he's fucking back.
He just
doing
keeps popping in. Like
Oliver Tree's retired 3 times.
It's like all those rappers that retire. Like Logic, who like came out of retirement immediately. It's one of those things where they're like, and I'm done with it.
I've had rappers on this podcast come and they're like, I'm retired, and then they like are back doing it. Yeah, exactly. All right, bro, you're taking a break. You're not retired.
Yeah, right. That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know.
People are wild.
I know.
Yeah, what do you think about AI as a whole and how that's going to affect what we do?
I think that's going to help us maybe make some tools that make it easier to do certain things, but as a sense of it, like writing scripts and like making actual content, I think that's like terrifying. I don't know. I think it has good and bad, but
I definitely think it's a tool that can be used like either effectively or it can be used to just kind of take away your own kind of creativity or passion from what it is you're doing. Either it can help elevate your experience with like the creative process, or it can be like it's just doing the creative process for you. Like, what are you kind of benefiting from that?
I think might be a weird comparison, but I think it's going to become like to filmmaking what autotune was to music, where it's like then you get a certain point when T-Pain killed it. I love T-Pain, right? But then it's like everyone has to have it to where like you don't even know what their voice even sounds like, and then it's like but you just know it's off. So then when you hear a real voice, like you hear Adele sing a song, you're like, holy fucking shit. Like Sam Smith, it like sounds so good because you've been so conditioned by it, depending on what genres you normally listen to. But I think the same thing with AI. If it becomes like the normal thing, I think that eventually it's just not going to feel real. So then when you see a film it's going to feel so much better.
Well, I listened to a podcast with Mos Def and Dave Chappelle on Midnight Miracle where they were talking about like the creative process. Like that's just the way the industry is now. It's all fast and they immediately want it then and now it's all on a schedule. And I think they talked about that's all cool.
Is that the one that's on vinyl?
The
podcast that's on vinyl?
No, I think it's on Spotify too.
I thought
they always kind of play it with that vinyl aesthetic, but
I thought they that was like the first podcast that like printed themselves on vinyls.
I'd love to find it if they do.
I don't know. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like he was talking about the process of even making a song. And it's like they want that like immediately. And I know he quoted Prince at one point in that thing where he's basically just talking about taking the time to actually craft what it is you want to. It's like how much do you actually respect your audience enough to like want to give them something that they're going to want to enjoy, and even also let yourself kind of enjoy, because some people just aren't like built for that like rocket speed of like, all right, let's get this out and get this like just get some views on it and then let's move on to the next project.
Well, also it's like, what are we even doing this for? You know what I mean? If it's not like for the love of it and actually I get that like people need a distraction from life and I understand, but it's like, but give them real shit. It almost feels disrespectful in a sense. You know what I mean? Like we're human beings. Give us real shit. I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's a big money making thing and I understand that. Like I respect the business. All right. It's just very like annoying when people who want to be in this business are people who have a love for making that art.
Well, yeah. Well, it's a demanding
Yeah,
business, but
that's
that's just the way
exactly.
it is. I mean, like,
Right.
think about
It just is what it is. Yeah.
Think about how it's already progressed, like since like film went to digital and how like you went from vinyl to CDs. It's like
Exactly.
everything just kind of went faster, and you kind of had to either adapt with it. But even like they even talked about like some other like older like artists will talk about is like your audience is going to follow you regardless. Sometimes you just got to be willing to kind of accept that and not put so much pressure on yourself.
I
Yeah.
dug. I don't know exactly what he said, but Lil Wayne, I remember saw this on this like podcast. He was talking about like music, so how he stayed relevant all the years, and he said like like whatever is popping right now, that's music. It's not like you can't be one of those guys stuck in your thing like, oh, I like the old school shit, I'm only gonna keep doing that. It's like whatever is popular right now, that's music. Also, you have to adapt with that.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, well, and he's one of the best examples of
my God,
a rap
dude.
artist who's like stayed relevant. You listen to like
Right.
the Carter 2 and the Carter 4 and
Right.
they're completely different albums.
And you're still going. That album has a Lil Wayne feature on it. Holy shit!
Yeah.
You're still people are still saying that. Yeah.
He can go on like any beat seemingly and like just do his thing and it's still Lil Wayne. It's not like anything else. It's still Lil Wayne somehow.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
an
You
OG.
just know, even though his voice has as much auto-tune as anybody else's on there, a lot of songs, you still know it's him though. Like it's like a certain, he has his own certain thing. Like I dig it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I do like your analogy with AI and auto-tune. Like I think
Right.
that's very prevalent. Well, and that's kind of a scary thing, like AI and music, right? Like I've been
Right.
hearing people are making like
yeah.
new fucking Mac Miller tracks.
I heard
that
some
sound a little too like it.
I heard some fake Drake songs and they were bangers, dude. And I was like, man, I really wish this was real. It was so like I was like, I fucking love this song.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it's not even a real song, which is just a bummer.
Yeah, and that's going to become like a whole legal thing that's going to
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
Right? I'm surprised it hasn't already. I'm surprised.
Right.
Well, a lot of those, like I think musicians specifically, they just sign their voice away basically.
I mean, I don't know. about all
You
that.
know, they sign their right to their likeness.
But a
at
lot
some
go
point.
independent nowadays.
Yeah,
I mean, so it's
which
like,
is good.
Well, but a lot of those AIs, I mean, there's no way they're getting copyright permission on that.
Oh, God,
when they're
no,
when they're
there's no
making
way.
like when they're making an AI Mac Miller, there's no way they
Yeah.
contacted Warner Brothers and were like, "Hey, we need like no." So there's probably I'm guessing there's going to be some kind of like next year, the years coming, there's going to be some huge legal precedents where people are going to be like, "Okay, this is like actually taking away
Yeah.
our sales. Like we're fucked."
So it will be a problem for sure. But
Yeah.
especially with everyone nowadays who can like, a lot of people can professionally like produce songs just from their bedroom. So you can be so if you're just someone in your bedroom, you're just fucking around, you just do it just for fun. You're like some kid, and then it's like they'll just keep pumping out because it's fun. I mean, they've been doing stuff like that, like all the Alvin and the Chipmunk remixes of songs where they've been doing shit like that for a long time. It's just evolved now. Now it's actual AI doing shit. Like I just think it's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of in a way reaffirms like my belief that like film is the ultimate art form, because like I feel like it's one of the few where like you can still kind of tell, right? Like if an AI today made a movie, you'd be like, that's AI.
Right.
Like I have an AI program that I've fucked with and made videos out of, and like it's impressive as shit, but like we're not at that point yet, right? I feel like with music we're very close to that point. Art, we're very close to that point. Like painting or pictures or whatever. It's
Most
wild, man.
definitely. No, I agree that with like the filmmaking, it's like you're just gonna know something's gonna feel off. Yeah, like I mean, because if you're like seeing like a movie that's directed by somebody, but it's like it's supposed to look like a Tarantino kind of movie, you watch it, like, this looks like a Walmart Tarantino. Even if the film is a good film, you're still like, this just looks like a knockoff Tarantino. Like you like, it's one of those things where I feel like AI, you just can't replicate a certain thing. It's gonna look weird, yeah.
Because like everything in life has imperfections, and I think you're gonna notice like
Right.
an AI script, they don't know the emotion. The computer don't know the emotion of like
They wrote a
what
quote
this
unquote
character's
perfect
kinda
script.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it can be a very good starting off point, but I think where we're at right now, if you want to perfect it, like the human component has to be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
As long as we have that, we're okay.
It can even be the idea of, like talk to Chat GPT or whatever and be like, write me a story about this. And they'll tell you something. Then you take that concept and actually write a script with actual dialogue and actual stuff in it. I mean, that's fine, I guess. Like, that could be a fun thing. But like, if you're just getting an idea from something, but like, you can't just like AI manufacture like a real script. I've seen those clips of like the first AI created like stand-up set. You ever seen that?
No, I haven't
It's
seen
awkward
that.
as hell. It's like because you can tell they're just like figuring it out. But yeah, it's like it's so weird. I'm like, I don't understand what they're pulling from here. But it's an odd video. You see what I'm talking about, Bozzy?
Like it's like the AI created. Just
It's like
comedy
a really shitty looking animation. It's like it's a stand up set that's created by AI. It's supposed to be like jokes. So
I've
none of the
not
jokes
seen
land. They're all weirdly timed and stuff. So
kind of like some of those like when people did comedy shows in the pandemic and they were just on Zoom. There's no audience.
Right,
and I was
dude,
like,
or like all the late, right, dude, like all like the late night shows and they're all doing Zoom and like there's no audience yet to laugh at the jokes and
you
build
just
them up.
hear their
so-
fan in the background. You're like, this is
Also,
ridiculous that this
yeah,
is what we want to watch.
that's what I want to know.
Like watching
All
late
these-
night shows during the pandemic,
Dude,
that was hilarious.
Dude, all these multi-million-dollar actors and shit have the shittiest webcams I've ever seen in my fucking life. It's like, dude, you could.
Their assistant dropped it off at their door like
You have
a
enough
half hour
like,
earlier.
You have
They're like,
enough money to have some new shit built, okay? And you're telling me you're working with this. They got an earbud in and shit. It's all pixelated. Like, dude, you're on national television in front of millions of people, and you have millions of dollars, and you couldn't figure this shit out. You didn't have an IT guy help you out. I just don't get it.
They're not used to spending the money on their home upkeep.
Yeah, I fucking guess, dude. It's just.
That was my
Always
cocaine
blew my-
money.
Yeah, right, dude. It always blew my mind because I was always watching like one of them has to have a good one. You know what I mean? One of them, and not fucking one, dude. Not one. I don't give a shit if Jeff Bezos was on there. Like you still would still look like shit, and I don't get
Yeah.
it.
You know, that was one of the times where like you really saw like how unaware celebrities were. Like
Right.
just like what was it the what was the song they did?
Oh,
yeah, the
Imagine.
Beatles song. Imagine.
The Beatles,
Dude,
yes.
yeah.
Or John Lennon, I guess.
I don't,
Imagine.
at the time, I was shitting on him. Boz was like, "Well, hey, man, they're trying to do something nice." Like he kind of got it more
And
than
then
I got.
after
but
watching it again, I was like, oh my god.
we're all in this together, guys. Yeah.
It's like when
like,
The
no,
Rock
you're
and
not.
Oprah were like, the Maui fires are terrible. Please give us money.
while
Help
you
with
have
this.
while you have to stay in your apartments, we'll be doing the exact same
Yeah.
thing in the 17 bedrooms in our house. We'll be stuck in here, can't go anywhere. I have to Postmates all my stuff.
Yeah, I was
Have
just
my-
gonna say they're getting DoorDash 5
Or I
meals a
gotta
day,
have
you know?
my servants put on a hazmat suit and go to the gas station for me. Like it's
These
just,
celebrities did the whole song, and then they literally just turn it off when they were on Netflix in an hour. I bet you $1 million.
dude, $1 million. Yeah, that's just wild.
Yeah, it's just weird how desensitized people
It's like
are.
if you wouldn't have said shit, we wouldn't have a problem. You know,
Yeah,
if you would have just left us in the
exactly.
dark, you've been like, fuck them. You know, let's just, to me, okay, and this is just to me, okay? But to me,
Sure.
these people have getting paid millions of dollars, right? To like do these careers, which I know this shit ain't easy, but doing it, it's almost disrespectful to me when they try to act like they're one of us. I'm like, no, you've done it, dude. Be a rich ad, like buy all this, buy a gold jet ski, do that shit. Like, if you're gonna have that money and then not spend it like an idiot, that's a fuck you to me. Like, you know, who wishes they had that money. Like
Like
you know
during
what I
that
mean?
time when I actually like heard the news about that song, and I went online. I was in my shitty apartment back in like 2020. I'm just sitting there. It looked like I was in a fucking jail cell because all the walls were white.
Right.
I had only one bed in there and a weird fucking desk. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like listening to these like celebrities just sing directly in the camera like I was on a Zoom call. Or it's like a national emergency, and they're just like, "It's gonna be okay."
Yeah.
Because if all the people just get together, I'm like, "Why is this like this is torment to me?"
Yeah. Oh my god.
Just
dude.
talking down to me.
yeah.
Like I said, but it's like disrespectful. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, don't act like we're all in together. Like, you be fucking having a great time. All right, like you did that. Like, don't leave me over here. It's just I don't know. I was gonna
Yeah,
laugh.
you know, and kind of like bring it to like now, like, you know, the writer's strike. You know, this is kind of an unpopular opinion, but I actually find myself being not very sympathetic to a lot of those people. Like, you see these actors who are worth multi-millions worth of dollars, you know, and they're like, oh, I don't have a job. Like, you don't need a job. You can live forever.
The super rich, like super rich and successful actors, sure, right? A lot of the writers I feel though, I get like
Sure,
right?
yeah.
But the people who are part of it that are like millionaires. Fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
Let them have their thing. Don't. I mean, I get it because it's like them being part of it brings more support to it. More people will hear about it. Yeah, but everyone heard about it, man. Like,
Yeah, but they're gonna by now they don't even give a fuck anymore.
but
I'm
they're
sure.
just like, hey, we are actors. We need you to write us stuff. So really they needed them. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. Where they were like, I have to support them because without them, I'm just some guy who can like
Exactly.
I can act like other people, but I don't know what to say. Yeah, like they need the writers. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
The only people I feel like really need a strike right now are some of the VFX artists and some of the digital houses. I mean, a lot of those like VFX artists, they work
got like sweatshops going in there with these people, like
ungodly amount of hours, and then it gets like a little bit of disrespect. I remember like even reading about some of the Across the Spider-Verse like stories about how they've had so many dozens of animators just like leave. They either get burnt out or they have a lot of creative differences.
Oh, wow.
And they just walked out.
Well, imagine being a part of
that.
Disney and they're being like, "Oh, you guys have to get this out by this time." Don't shit. So the CGI is a little iffy, and everyone across the whole world's like, "These fucking idiots don't know how to do CGI." You know, and the guy's like, "Dude, I worked till my fingers bled on this thing, dude. They just didn't give me enough time and resource." Yeah, it was just, no.
Well, I already heard that like they don't have any almost the dialogue written for the third. They don't have any of it recorded for the third movie. That's supposed to be like in March. They wanted to release that. I don't think that's going to happen because they've also had more stories come out about how even more artists like they would even have like full renders done of certain sequences, and they would be like, "We got to do it all over again."
At least they made a good ass movie.
I think we have a different way we want to do it.
It's not a good ass.
It's a good
dude.
movie, but like,
It's even better to know that they went through that much stuff to be made. Like, you know, like, it's crazy.
Exactly.
Such a good movie.
Yeah, it's wild to see where the world's coming to. I don't know. Shit, guys, we're a little over the hour point. I feel like this is maybe a good place to wrap up. Is there anything else I guess is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we?
Just wanted to talk maybe a little bit about the just kind of shout out to everyone that like helped out with the movie and whatnot. Yeah. I think definitely. Have we even given like a premise of the film? I don't think we have yet. Like,
oh my god, I'm so sorry. Yeah,
we hit him with it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, what do you mean?
Premise of our movie.
Oh, let me look right in the camera. Bits and pieces. No, the movie is basically just about. It deals with a lot of themes of like victimization, and also like because everyone thinks of a film about like they can think about the person in the chair as the one who's like. The one is like in trouble, and then we have two characters in this film. Like Stella's character played by Katie Huck. She's the one who's in the chair. She's the one who's been kidnapped, and she's the one that's in this like scenario. And then we also learn from within characters that are within like these psychomaniacs that there's one character in there he's dealing with a whole lot, but he's like blaming himself.
Smoking a lot of cigarettes.
Yeah. So it's something kind of like it's one of those things where you'd assume that the girl in the chair is the main protagonist, but then it's kind of like not necessarily what it is. Like it's but yeah, pretty much just these three kind of psychos that kidnap this girl, and then after she escapes, they have to try and chase her back to town before people find out about him, kind of thing. And that's like the very basic premise of it. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's like the spoiler-free kind of premise of it, you know. But yeah, so we had a lot of great actors. And like I said, Katie Huck as Estella, Benjamin Knuckles as Jacob, the main guy, and then we have
Joe Fee as Mike, and then of course Lonnie Appleby as our main like overarching antagonist,
who got snubbed.
I was very impressed by his performance.
That guy got snubbed for mayor of Newton. He ran for the second time this year. It was actually a fairly close race, but yeah, he got snubbed. You didn't win.
That man. Oh, he didn't win.
Did not win.
Oh.
No. Imagine if he was the mayor, though. Imagine if our movie starred Lonnie Appleby the mayor of Newton. Like, wouldn't that be fucking sick?
That would have been.
He was hoping we'd have it out before the election so that he could like it would help him out a little bit.
Do you think maybe he regretted being in that movie? Do you think? It caused him negative?
No. He loves every second of it. That guy. That is one of the most positive people I've ever met in my life. He's a wonderful dude.
I was so happy to even get to like offer him that role because I know how.
Oh yeah.
I remember like because I knew him from community theater back in Newton.
Okay.
And we kind of like developed a friendship there. And then I told him when I was going to school, I said, if I get a chance to do a movie, I want to bring you on to play something, either it's a main character or it's a villain. And he always wanted to play a villain, and no one ever really gave him that chance. He was always playing like
the funny friend or like the quirky guy or something like that. He was never like a big like serious part. And then so he knew him. I had never met the guy before, and a lot of the auditions I was working while he was doing some of them because I worked like long days back when we were doing the audition stuff, and he so Lonnie came in and I wasn't there for it. So I used to watch it back like game tape at the end of the day, like the recordings of all the auditions and stuff. And I saw his, and we were almost close when we need to start filming. I'm like, we need a Reggie. We haven't found anybody yet. We were working on like rewriting the character to fit a different actor, this whole thing. And then he was like, let me show you this one. He showed me Reggie, who originally auditioned for the clerk role at the shop that she talks to. So when I watched the video and I was like, he wrote like one page of Reggie, like maybe. And I was sitting there, I sat back.
Just
and I was
one
like,
scene, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, holy shit. And he turns around when it was done. And he's like, you like him? Like, dude, that was fucking crazy. Like, why were you sitting on this? You know? So so we called him back the next day, and he showed up, and he knew that I never met him before. So he showed up on his motorcycle with his leather jacket on, and his like gloves and all this shit, full leather. And then he like walks in, and it was like how we doing? He's like, girl, let me tell you about it. And it was just the funniest introduction because it was just he's just that kind of guy. But he's a very like positive dude, very funny guy. And then but everyone the B story, like I said, Jimmy Steffens, huge shout out to him. You go on Spotify, look up Steffen Bags with a Z, Steffen. Bagz. He only has one song out right now, but no. So he was great in the movie. And every single person, I don't know, like big shout out to
and Jenna Smith, of course, too.
Jenna Smith,
and Scott Blow, and of course Ben
Rollins.
Ben Rollins,
Rollins,
I think his last name. I could call him O'Reilly. That's his actual character name.
But no, shout out to everyone there. Shout out to Joni's Creations, his mom's dress shop. That was kind of our pre where we started at for the day. That was our like headquarters, kind of,
Nice.
But yeah, all in all, everyone's been a part of it.
It was a great experience, and I hope that we get to work with a lot of those people again. You know?
Most definitely.
Nice. Hell yeah. Well, I commend anyone who puts that much work into a project. And,
are you working on anything right now? I know you were working on a few things.
Yes, we're doing a film called The Chronic Crusaders, which is a stoner superhero film where Kim Reynolds is the villain.
Oh, that's wild. You guys are going for it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you really are. Yeah.
Trying to blow the roof off the joint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
By the time this comes out, it'll already have been done, but we're going to be doing we're going to try to do a couple like 12, 24-hour live streams where I'm just gaming, and we're going to try to donate or have other people donate, try to raise funds for the film. So, I recommend or hope you guys tune into that. And, I would love to, maybe we can talk about working on it together. I think that'd be awesome. I'm definitely looking for people to help with that. So
yeah, definitely. We can definitely be in talks about that. That sounds like a fun time. I don't even give a shit if it turns out good or bad. It just sounds like a wild thing to do. Every day we're like, are we really making this movie? This is crazy. Yeah, okay.
That was like when I went to DMAC and I met some of the people there, like yourself, and I was after the pandemic. It was actually getting back into that social structure was weird.
Yeah.
And now that we're all out of it, I'm kind of really excited to start meeting more artists, especially after the film and whatnot. It gives us more of a conversation to have with
something to show people so that they can be familiar with what we can pull off. Yeah, because I feel like right now, especially before we made that film, we had nothing really to show very much. Like really nothing, not much. A couple little 3-minute shorts or something like that. Yeah. In the original short, but nothing like for real. So everyone took a huge chance on us, taking all the time they took, the 4 months to be a part of the film. So, I hope that to them it paid off. It did to us. So yeah.
I mean, they got the full experience, and I was having fun even watching them work because they were so dedicated, and they were so professional. It's like they even knew, they know how small the project is, but it's like they respected themselves and where they were at, and I loved seeing them all the camaraderie that came there. It was just beautiful to watch.
Yeah, no, that and that's something me working in my short films and stuff, I've encountered too. There's just something about this area and the area of Iowa where people kind of understand, hey, we're not here to necessarily make a payday, but we're here to create some shit, and we're all going to respect each other's time. I think
we're going to actually do it. Yeah,
exactly.
Most definitely.
Hell yeah. Well, when's the film coming out? Do you have an official date?
It was supposed to come out this fall, but we've had a lot of setbacks with just both time of post production. Sure. We're finishing up mixing and sound, then we got to get into color. But then Wayne's created this amazing soundtrack. We didn't have a soundtrack for almost a year, and I didn't start hearing one until about August.
Right.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. So pretty much every version of the film we watched that was over 2 hours long was no music or anything, so it really dragged a lot more. Yeah, very dry. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, so finally we got something put in there. It works really well, and definitely enhanced everything for sure. We're still tweaking with it, still mixing it and everything. So
I'm thinking about March 2024 at this point. Is I should probably have more of a wider release, but we might have. We're gonna probably start dropping some scenes like we did one recently.
Just a little minute-long scene, we dropped that.
Just some more promotional content just to get us up.
Yeah, we want to start really boosting some promotional stuff. Maybe get against my better judgment, get some TikToks going or something. I want the idea of cutting the first 20 minutes of it into cut the whole thing into little 30-second clips and just post them. You know what I mean, that kind of thing. So you have a lot of content. It's people would be part one, then part two, and then if they go through the whole, that'd be crazy, but.
I heard they uploaded Mean Girls to TikTok. The entire movie.
I've seen a lot of
8-10 minute segments.
Yeah, dude, I've seen a lot of stuff like that where it's part one, and you go through all these part 47. Jesus, dude, they have streaming services like that. What's it called? I just watched a video on it the other day. I forget what it was called. Real something, I forget, but it was like, yeah, like they're like full length films, but they're broken into 61-minute parts. So you go through like it's like everything is 1 minute, and then like there's like ads in between and shit, between like 1 minute clips of the movie, and they expect people to watch the entire film like that. And it's all vertical too. You can't turn. It's all vertical. Yeah. So like, I just. Fucking
wild. Well, hey, it was a pleasure having you guys in. Where can people find you? What's your social?
Well, we got our main social for the movie, which is just BvM Productions, BvM _Productions on Instagram, and I think that's mostly just where we're at right now.
Yeah, it's basically yeah.
And of course, we got YouTube under Van Sickle Studios. You'll find like most of the scenes. You'll find the trailer, and you'll find the extended preview of the film online too.
Yep. Yeah, online. So we have a version online that's the first 18 minutes of the film with no music on it, but it's like the first 18 minutes you can watch. Like still, while that's still in its post production phase, you know,
sure,
it's not totally done. But yeah, no. So yeah, that plus the trailer plus the recent clip and everything. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, we will put links for all those in the description, so everybody go check that out, guys. I really appreciate you coming through. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for having us, man.
Hell yeah. Guys, Macau Stars podcast every Monday at 7 p.m. We got a website, MacauStars.com. We have a YouTube channel, obviously, where you can find us everywhere. And we also have a Patreon, where you can find exclusive content there for as little as, well, we have a $1 a month tier, and then we have a $4 a month tier if you want the whole enchilada, as they say. So go check that out. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.